Well, hi there. Um, this is a totally unscripted video, and I'm recording this at pretty much midnight, so apologies right off the bat if this is really kind of underdone, sloppy, and has a lot of me saying and ahs. It's just it's a trope of the thing. You're doing the unscripted commentary. I'm terrible at unscripted anything. I stutter and I mumble, and strangely though, I'm actually really good at just speaking to people, but when it's recording, I can't think. I mess things up all the time. But I just want to point that out first. And this is a really spur of the moment thing. Hence the unscripted base recording, barely any editing thing. And I guess you could call this a response to JJTalkz 2 videos about harassment on YouTube. And it kind of is, it kind of isn't. It's kind of more of a personal thing because those 2 videos she made, they really touched me in my heart. And right off the bat, I want to thank her so much for making those, and they are just absolutely amazing videos that everyone on YouTube that has a presence that wants to make YouTube better, just wants to make the internet and just the whole society better, really needs to watch and really examine themselves after doing it and after watching it. And that's a lot of what I did after watching it. Now, I've been on YouTube for just over half a year. That's not very long, and I've managed to get just over 150 subscribers. Now, that's partially because I've plugged the shit out of myself everywhere on the internet that I can. I've gotten a lot of helpful support along the way from other YouTubers and content creators, and I'm totally grateful for that. But part of me is kind of scared that, well, how do I put this? I've always wanted to make YouTube videos for quite a long time, for a lot of years actually, and I don't know what really spurred me into really making an effort to start doing it. 'Cause it's kind of one of the things you talk about and you never really do anything with it. You know, like oh, I'm going to start that project tomorrow. It's like an internal procrastination, but this time there's no real deadline. I mean, there's no deadline to starting YouTube. I mean, unless you're dead. I mean, you can't really make YouTube videos if you're dead, but that's really off topic. But I'm not quite sure what really spurred me. And I mean, the first thing I made was just probably one of the crappiest LPs that I didn't even finish. But then I came roaring back once I got actual equipment and I really put an effort into it. And, well, I'm kind of scared of what I would be on YouTube if I had actually gone through and started making videos a few years ago, because I've said this a couple times on the internet and I think it bears repeating, but a few years ago I was not a very nice person. In fact, I was pretty much a shitlord. I was racially insensitive, I was honestly pretty sexist, and a borderline men's right activist. MRA, red pillar, you know, hate women, hate representation. Like, why are all these people complaining? I just want to, like, the basic shitlord guy that's on KIA, red pill, and 8chan. Like, total turd in the water, stink, wouldn't even want to be within 100 meters of me. You'd look at me and you'd look at the kind of stuff I post and you'd want to bawl your eyes out. Now, luckily, I didn't really... If there's anything that I've posted back from that era, just as comments, I mean, it's gone because of Google Plus now. So there's that. I mean, it means that people don't end up finding year-old comments from me and wondering who the hell is this person and what have they done with Model Omega. But yeah, I'm kind of scared that... Or not really scared, but unnerved about this whole thing and what I would have been like if I had started making videos back then instead of now, where I'm not quite sure how I transitioned from that to where I am now, but one person said that I just basically grew up, and I guess that makes sense, but it just feels like a totally inadequate justification. I mean, I was technically grown up beforehand. I was already into politics. I'd almost graduated high school. And I mean, not quite sure. I mean, when I was growing up in my life, I had a ton of social issues. I was well, I was bullied off the start. I mean, that's probably a big reason for why I turned into such a bitter person. I mean, a lot of people that are bullied like to say that they can't become bullies, and that's a lie. I mean, it's the easiest people to become bullies are people that were bullied themselves, and often they don't even really realize it. I even got into a fight with someone, although it wasn't really a fight. It was like I challenged someone to a fight, and they showed up, and they actually kind of fled. I guess me showing up. I mean, I'm a pretty huge dude. I'm 6 feet tall, like 260 pounds back then. I'm actually a lot more. I should really lose some weight, but that's off topic. Anyway, where was I again? Right, growing up. So, yeah, I had a lot of social interactivity issues. My mom had actually pretty well diagnosed me with Asperger's, mild autism, back when I was just a little kid. And I'd always, when I'd read about it, I'd kind of assumed that it was what I had, but I never really got a diagnosis until, I think, just about a year ago. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out for yourself and kind of think it, but actually knowing it, it didn't actually change a lot, but I think in some way it might have. But anyway, that's a bit off topic. I mean, I had a huge hard time having any sort of relationship that wasn't with my family who I'd known all my life. I mean, the only real friend that I made in that whole time was in grade 6, and unfortunately we both went to different schools, so I didn't really see him as much. Although that ended up working out for me because I met a lot of really nice people in high school. Actually a lot of Asian people. The high school I went to was predominantly full of second or first generation Asian immigrants, and I think that might have helped a bit, although they were all men. They were all men. I think I had like one female friend growing up, and I never really got to see her much because she ended up moving back to China before I graduated. I was kind of sad about that. But I really, just talking to people is just the hardest thing for me. Just growing up, I mean, I've blown up at my friends, at my family, for benign reasons. Like acting almost basically like a spoiled child. And I would always get called out on it, and I'd feel bad about it. I'd feel angry. I'd feel like I hadn't done anything wrong. And it's because I didn't understand. I almost, you guess you could say, sociopathic. I couldn't understand other people's emotions. I couldn't understand why they might have been hurt by what I said. That the tone of what I was saying might have been alarming to them. And I've seen 2 psychologists growing up. Once when I was still in elementary, I think, and then another one quite recently. And I worked out a lot of issues: self-acceptance, self-esteem, just relationships with my family, and understanding my presence. And I think that was that second time, that was about the time that I decided I wanted to try and make some sort of presence, trying to get myself known. Trying to meet a wider array of people through online. I mean, I just have such a hard time. I have a hard time just getting to know anyone in person. I don't talk to people I don't know, which means it's hard for me to talk to people in the first place, which means it's hard for me to form any sort of relationship with someone, and that stayed true now. I mean, I was at university for 3 years, and I met one person that I would call my friend, and I haven't even seen that person in so long. I should really call them. But I started making videos, crappy videos, and then after a while, since I actually had my computer formatted, I came back and I did really basic stuff, and I've really stayed away from the social justice stuff, and for good reason. I mean, I don't really think there's anything I could really say. So many people do this stuff already. They do it way better than I do, so I feel like what I'm best at doing is carving out my own presence and then promoting other people that I think are good. I mean, if there's something that shows up that I think I can weigh my own particular part in, say the 2 videos I've done on Canadian politics and that one video I made to TB, then I'll do that if I don't think my particular view is being spoken. But otherwise, all the right things seem to be said. So that's why this video is basically just about me and admitting to my self what my past was like, and coming to terms with the better, well, obviously the better person I am now, the more accepting, the more understanding, the more empathetic, but still not fixed, even if that's kind of a loose term. What I'm kind of admitting is I'm still sort of broken. I still have hissy fits. I still, even now, sometimes I read something on Twitter that is about racial issues, about gender issues, and I feel annoyed. I feel like, I don't want to name any examples, but the Mad Max movie is a good one. Particularly comments about whether the movie was really feminist. And I've said it has been, and I've said it isn't on multiple occasions, and now I just don't really know. I still don't think I've really made up my opinion about it. It's a fucking amazing movie, though. It's still the best movie of the summer. And no one will argue that it isn't a really big thumbs up in the way of at least feminist views, but that's besides the point. But I mean, I see these things and I instinctively click on reply, and I start typing, and I think to myself, why am I doing this? I mean, does it really care so much? And actually, it's gotten to the point where I saw one comment left by someone that I really wanted to almost, I'm serious here, mansplain to someone, and I just thought I should just remove myself from the situation, so I didn't want to feel bad. I didn't want to put myself in that situation, so I unfollowed that person. And not because I wanted to unfollow them, because I was a bit scared that if I continued to follow this person and continued to see the things she posted, that some of my past self might come back again. And I didn't want to put myself in that situation. And maybe that's avoiding the issue, but I just think that there's a lot of things I still need to work out, especially in terms towards social justice. So, and that's part of the reason I'm making this. And I'm seeing this is actually getting about to the 12-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap this up now. This is a message at the end to anyone that follows me, anyone that follows me on Twitter, on Facebook. I think I only have like 4 people on Facebook, but anyone on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, if I ever make a video, anything that is kind of insensitive, uncomfortable, please let me know. Because I still have a lot of issues with understanding emotion, understanding people, and having people tell me these things where I can improve myself in that regard would just mean the world to me. And if I end up responding to that with more scorn, point that out as well. Remind me that this is something I have issues with, and I'll try to understand it as best I can. And yeah, that's I think that's about all I really wanted to say. And to any of you, or maybe this is kind of stepping out of line for me, but I don't want to say I'm proof of anything, but maybe that I'm a little bit of proof that there is redemption for everyone. There is redemption for shitheads that I used to be. And it's not a lost cause, I guess. We can keep trying. I can keep trying. I can try to change other people. I think I can. I think others definitely can do better than I can. Just have to keep on going, I guess. This is almost at 15 minutes. I'm really going to end it now. Thanks for listening this long if you have. This has been Model Omega, and have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you all later. Thank you.